Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Curious Cat Crime Sunday with Shelby and Olivia. Today's episode is going to be on the Idaho college student murders. And let's get to it. The killings of the four University of Idaho students in mid-November of 2022 at an off-campus residence stunned the small community of Moscow, where investigators grappled with what the town's police chief would later describe as a very complex case. No suspect was immediately named in the death of the housemates, who were Madison Mogan, 21, Kylie Concalves, 21, Xana Kernodle, 20, as well as Kernodle's boyfriend Ethan Chapin, 20. Nor was the murder weapon believed to be a largely fixed blade found, but the intense scrutiny of the unsolved slaying sparked thousands of tips to the FBI. Here's a timeline of the key moments in the case. November 12, 2022. Starting at around 9 p.m., Kernodle and Chapin are seen at a party at Chapin's fraternity, Sigma Chi, a short walk from the King Road apartment house where the roommates lived, according to investigators. That night, Concalves uploaded pictures to her Instagram account featuring photos of the friends with the caption, "One lucky girl to be surrounded by these people every day." At about 10 p.m., Concalves and Mogan go to the sports bar in Moscow called the Corner Club. Then, on November 13, 2022, at about 1:30 a.m., Concalves and Mogan are seen ordering food from a nearby food truck, according to the truck's live stream. I've seen this video. They seem to be joking around, having a good time, like nothing's amiss. Investigators say Kernodle and Chapin returned to their three-level house on Kings Road at about 1:45 a.m., while Concalves and Mogan take a car ride home, arriving at about 1:56 a.m. Meanwhile, two other house guests who had gone out that night had arrived home before the others at around 1 a.m., Moscow police says. At 11:58 a.m., a 911 call is placed on a cell phone of one of the other housemates requesting assistance of an unconscious person. Both housemates of the other two were unharmed. Police alert the public to the deaths in a news release. While they say no one is in custody, they do not believe there is an ongoing community risk based on information gathered during the preliminary investigation. I can talk, I swear. November 16, 2022. With no suspect apprehended, Moscow police walked back previous comments that there was no threat to a largely rural city at about 26,000 residents. "We do not have a suspect at this time, and the individual is still out there," Moscow Police Chief James Fry says at a news conference. He adds that more than 25 investigators with the Idaho State Police and FBI are assisting on the case. November 17, 2022. Preliminary autopsy results show the four victims were likely attacked with a large knife and died sometime after 2 a.m. from multiple stab wounds, Latath County Coroner Kathy Mubbit says. She described their wounds as pretty extensive. November 18, 2022. Police say the victims were most likely asleep when they were slain, and some of them had defensive wounds. There was no sign of sexual assault. Meanwhile, detectives seized the contents of 3 dumpsters near the home to search for the possible evidence. They contact local business to determine if the knife had recently been purchased. November 30th, 2022. A vigil is held at the University of Idaho in honor of the victims, with some family members in attendance. "We're going to get our justice," Stephen Concalves, Kylie's father, says, adding that his daughter and Mogan had been best friends since 6th grade, and he had learned that they were in the same bed when they were killed. They went to high school together, and they started looking at colleges. They came here together. They eventually got into the same apartment together, and in the end, they died together. December 1st, 2022. Moscow police reaffirmed the quadruple homicide was part of a targeted attack after authorities appeared to suggest the opposite. "We remain consistent in our belief that this was indeed a targeted attack and have not concluded if the target was a resident or its occupants," a police spokesperson says. The department also continues to dispel online rumors and speculation and says it has cleared certain people from interacting with Conclave and Mogan on the evening they were killed. Police have also say the 2 housemates who were home during the attack had been sleeping that night. December 2nd, the 2 housemates, Bethany Funke and Dylan Mortensen, excuse me if I say any of these names wrong, I mean no offense, released letters saying they are struggling to accept why the lives of four beautiful people were taken so brutally. December 5th. Detectives focus on Chapin's and Kernodle's activities on the evening they were killed, and asked the public for information for nearly 5 hours from when the couple arrived at the Sigma Chi party to the apartment house on King Road. December 6, 2022. Police say they recognize how frustrating the lack of news can be for the families and the public, but insist they do not want to jeopardize the case. We are at this point in the investigation. We're still gathering information. We're still gathering tips. We're still gathering evidence. We're still doing everything we need to do, Fry says in a video posted online. December 7th. Police began removing personal items of the victims from the apartment house and returning them to their families. They also announced what appears to be an integral part of the investigation. They say they are speaking with the occupants of they want to speak to the occupant of a white Hyundai Elantra from 2011 to 2013 with unknown license plates. They do not say whether they believe the driver is linked to the killing, but say that the person may have critical information to share. December 15th. Christy Conglav's Kaylee's mother expressed frustration during the interview with NBC's Today Show that she only learned for the police interest in the Hyundai Elantra when the rest of the public did, underscoring how the victim's family feel left in the dark. I can understand that. December 21st. Fry tells NBC News that his department is in daily contact with families and we ask them to be patient and the investigation progresses. The police chief again insists the investigation is not a cold case and our end goal is to bring somebody to justice for the families and for the victims. December 30th. Police announced the arrest of suspect Brian Christopher Koberg, 28, a resident of Pullman, Washington, then a doctoral student at Washington State University. He is apprehended in northeastern Pennsylvania, about 2,500 miles from the Idaho campus, and is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and burglary. According to 2 law enforcement sources, DNA evidence played a key role in linking him to the killing. At the news conference, Fry says he believes Kroger is the only suspect. What I can tell you is that we have an individual in custody who committed these horrible crimes, he says, and I do believe our community is safe. December 31st, 2022. The public defender of Monroe County, Pennsylvania, where Koberger is being held, says the suspect intends to waive his extradition hearing to face charges in Idaho. He should be presumed innocent until proven otherwise, not tried in a court of public opinion, Jason Labar says in a statement, adding Mr. Koberger is eagerly to be exonerated of these charges and looks forward to resolving the matter as promptly as possible. January 3rd. Koberger appears in court and agrees to return to Idaho. January 4th. Koberger is flown across the country to Pennsylvania State Police plane and booked into Latah County, Idaho jail. January 5th. Koberger makes his first appearance in Idaho court and is ordered and held without bail. Another pretrial hearing is set for January 12th. Investigators say male DNA discovered on the knife sheath he was used to link Koberger to the crime scene, and that they were tracking his car, a white Hyundai Elantra, and cell phone used in the area. According to newly released court documents, this was January 5th, newly then. January 18th, the list of items seized from the search warrant of Koberger's Pullman, Washington apartment is made public. The belongings include a pillow with a reddish-brown stain, a dissolvable glove, and at least a dozen strands of hair. February 28th. A search warrant for the home of Koberger's parents in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania reveals more items seized, including a medical-style glove, a silver flashlight, and a buccal swab DNA test. March 13th. Prosecutors seek data from a major tech firm such as Apple and Amazon, as well as social media platforms and retailers as part of an investigation, according to court documents made public. They also request bank and social media information tied to the 4 victims in order to build a digital picture of the crime and the suspect. April 21st. Funke, one of the surviving housemates, files a motion to quash a subpoena that would require her to testify at Koberger's preliminary hearing in June, while an investigator for his defense said that the affidavit that she knows the information that would be exculpatory to the defendant. Funke, in her motion, said the statement, without support, there is no further information or detail pertaining to the substance of this testimony, its materiality, or the alleged exculpatory information. April 26. Funke agrees to interview with the defense counsel according to a court filing, but she won't have to travel to Idaho. May 4th. Newly released body cam video footage. Kohlberger is pulled over for allegedly running a red light in Pullman, Washington. In October 2022, about a month before the slaying in Moscow. Washington State University campus police let him go with a warning. May 16th, the Lada County grand jury returned the indictment against Kohlberger on the murder charges, paving the way for an arraignment and a trial. May 22nd, Kober during his arraignment stands quiet when asked to enter a plea, prompting Lada Court District Judge John Judge to enter not sorry, I'm easily entertained. To enter not guilty pleas on his behalf on the murder and burglary charges. A trial is tentatively set for October 2nd. In addition, prosecutors have 60 days to give notice that they will seek the death penalty. And that is what I have so far, guys. So this is still an ongoing case, and I think it's one that we'll follow, and we'll definitely post updates when we have them. But it's a pretty big one. 4 beautiful lives lost for what? For nothing. But thank you again for chiming in to another episode of Curious Cat Crime Sunday, and we hope you have a great week, and we hope to see you next time. Bye.